You know, Miles, you've been coming in here a lot lately, but you've never looked quite this glum. What's going on?
I've bungled things pretty badly at home. Been staying with a friend the past couple of weeks.
I see. What happened?
I haven't been honest with my wife. Coming here and drowning my sorrows hasn't really helped, oddly enough. And yet, it's all I can do to keep from going crazy.
You know, Miles, I've seen and heard a lot of things over the years. Some of the stories would turn your hair white. But through it all, I've come to learn one thing. It's usually not too late to make things better, but only if you let yourself try.
Your hair's
Thank you for the
white.
advice, Patrick.
All I can do is give it, Miles. Whether you choose to take it or not is entirely up to you. Now, would you like another gin?
No, thank you. This time I really do need to be on my way. I should go and see how my wife is doing.
I see. Well, have a good night, Miles. And good luck to you.
Who in the ether? Miles? This is a surprise.
Hello, Addie. It's wonderful to see you. May I please come in?
I suppose so. Was there something you wanted to talk about?
I wanted to make amends for how I acted when we last spoke. I'm sorry I put you through that. I was an absolute ratbag, and I hope you can forgive me.
Rat
I
bag.
still don't appreciate you keeping things from me. Where have you been all this time, anyway?
Upton's been letting me stay with her.
Better than sleeping under a bridge, I suppose.
Yes, although I don't know how much longer I can impose on her generosity.
Are you asking me to let you come back here?
What do I do? Do I tell her the truth or not? Bill said don't, so we're gonna do it.
Yes, but I know I need to earn it. That's why I'm finally going to tell you the truth.
Miles, what are you doing? You know this is a terrible idea.
The truth?
About why I've been acting the way I have been since Bill died.
Well, go on. I'm listening.
Don't do it, Miles. You know it's a one-way ticket to Riverview if you do.
I've been hearing
I'm
Bill's
doing it.
voice ever since he died.
Fordham, what is wrong with you?
His voice?
I can't believe this! You've just destroyed your life! I
Bill,
hope you realize that!
Bill,
Yes.
shut up!
In my head, at all hours. That's why I was taking the soporific. It was the only way to keep him quiet. Or so I thought. Turns out that alcohol has the same effect.
What does he say to you?
The type of things he'd say when he was alive. Snarky comments, inappropriate jokes. Mainly he nags me to find the flower shop burglar. He thinks doing that will let him find peace and move on.
I see.
I told you you'd think I was crazy.
Don't be ridiculous, Miles. It's nothing like that. It's just, I wish you had told me sooner is all.
I know, but I was afraid.
Well, I'm glad you finally trusted me. You know, you could have all along.
So, you're all right with it?
It is quite a lot to take in. I think I'll need some time to mull it over. But what matters now is that we can work through this together.
I understand. Well, I should probably go. It was lovely to see you again, Addie.
Lovely to see you too, Miles.
Perhaps I'll stop by again next week.
I hope I don't get
We'll
hauled
see,
in.
if you'd like.
Sure, like the men in white coats aren't gonna have you taken away by then.
Right. I'll see myself out then.
Good night, Miles.
Fordham, wake up.
Huh? He just leapt over the side. I don't... Oh, Upton. What's going on?
Goodness, Fordham. You look terrible. Is everything all right?
Just had some trouble sleeping. More than usual.
Well, I hope you've rested enough, because I've got something very important to show you.
Oh, wonderful. If we're sharing information now, are you gonna tell Upton about me as well?
Shut up, Bill.
What is it?
There's been a murder.
I assume this one is special somehow, or you wouldn't be bringing it to me.
I thought that great detectives never assumed.
There are exceptions to every rule.
Anyway, you're right. The victim in question is a member of Parliament, a man named Percival McDonough to be precise. But this is the real corker. The murder is clearly the work of the Justice Killer.
The Justice Killer? Is that the mass murderer I've been hearing about?
The very same.
Why Justice Killer, though?
It's part of his modus operandi. He kills his victims with a single gunshot to the head, then writes the word justice somewhere in the room with the victim's blood.
Talk about melodramatic.
The police are stumped. This is the killer's 5th victim, and there isn't a single lead.
Is this the last
So
case?
you want me to investigate?
Not just yet. First, I need you to look at these sketches.
You took crime scene sketches from the department?
Of course not. I made copies with the station's Pharaoh duplicator. These killings need to stop, and I believe you can succeed where the department has so far failed.
So, what am I looking for?
The police went over each crime scene with a fine-toothed comb and turned up practically no useful physical evidence. I want a second opinion from you. If you can find some sort of link between them, it might be possible to track this monster down.
All right.
Upton's
let's see what we
quite the
can see.
rebel.
Maybe there's something that Snelling's finest overlooked.
Of course I didn't take them.
Here are the 4 sketches. Have a look at them and see if you notice anything that might help us find this maniac.
Sketch number 1.
What's the point? It's not like you're actually going to be able to investigate this case.
Shut up, Bill!
If only you hadn't told Adelaide about me, I might share my thoughts with you. As it is, you're on your own.
Shut up, Bill!
Whoever drew this was a hack. That looks more like a piece of toast than a flower. If only you...
Man, Bill, I don't know what is wrong with Bill. Like, Bill, there's something wrong with Bill. The body looks really weird. I don't know why. The body looks so weird. Picture number 2.
Oh, were you hoping for some witty insight? Shame, because you're not getting any.
This flower has been at both scenes.
I don't feel like looking at dead bodies right now. Is there something more exciting we could be doing? I'm sure this is terribly relevant, but I've got nothing to say about it.
There it is
I'm
again.
really not in the mood to be analyzing crime scene sketches right now. Yeah, he's dead. Big deal. Boring.
I don't think Bill understands what we're looking at.
Boring, just like everything else in this sketch.
Interesting.
Oh, what? You actually found something without my help? I'm shocked. Boring.
Upton?
What is it, Fordham?
About those crime scene sketches.
Yes?
I think I found a connection.
I knew you would. What is it?
There's a single flower at each crime scene. They look deliberately placed.
There is? Let me have a look. You're right. 1 lily at each scene.
Wait, what did you say?
These flowers, they're lilies. Easter lilies, I think.
I don't believe it.
Upton, this is incredible. This is the lead I've been searching for.
What? You mean for another case?
The flower shop burglar. He was stealing Easter lilies. And I distinctly remember him saying something about his desire to uphold justice. At the time, I thought it was just the rambling of a lunatic, but now it seems so obvious.
It seems it
So
is a
the
rambling
flower
of a
shop
lunatic.
burglar is the justice killer?
It seems too much of a coincidence otherwise.
Well, then that's wonderful. You can kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Excellent work, Fordham. I knew you could do it.
What exactly are the details regarding this justice killer?
The killings began a few months ago, and so far he's claimed 5 victims. The department wanted to keep this information out of the public eye to prevent a panic, but word has gotten out. On the bright side, it makes your involvement in the case much less suspicious.
What can you tell me about the previous victims?
4 men from Chumley, Hannibal Kirkland, Reggie Willingham, Ennis Bowditch, and Burley Cause. No known connection between any of them aside from the borough they lived in. I have copies of the police reports from each of the crime scenes. Go ahead and take them.
Thank you, Upton.
Do you have to kill Bill again? Maybe.
What are the details regarding the killer's latest victim?
As I mentioned, the victim is Percival McDonough, a member of Parliament. He was found this morning by his secretary in his office. I expect the official investigation is still underway.
So the killer managed to get into the Houses of Parliament. No easy feat.
You can say that again. It's the killer's first high-profile victim. It means he's getting bolder.
I suppose I'll have to drop by and see for myself. Everything all right with you?
Oh, I'm getting by. I expect things will go back to normal once this killer is caught.
I haven't worn out my welcome here yet, have I?
No, you're still tolerable. But when was the last time you washed your hair?
You're starting to sound like Adelaide. I should get back to it.
Not a bad idea.
Right. I think I have enough information to get started. I think I'll begin with...
Odd. I wasn't expecting company. Chief Snelling?
Uh-oh.
Upton, we need to talk. Fordham, I should have guessed I'd find you here.
Ah, Chief Snelling. What a pleasant surprise.
I'm equally pleased to see you, Fordham. Although, having you here does save me a bit of trouble.
Trouble?
Those are some rather interesting decorations. Would either of you care to explain how they got here?
And once again, the jig is up. I hope you can talk your way out of this one, too.
I brought them here, after I made duplicates and took them from the police department.
Nice try, Fordham, but I know for a fact that isn't true. The ferroduplicator makes a report of every employee who uses it, as well as what was copied. A rather useful feature for instances such as these. Wouldn't you agree?
These gadgets are going to be the undoing of us all.
In any case, I did some digging and discovered some intriguing information. Upton, why have you been passing on classified police information to Mr. Fordham?
Because he's the best detective you ever had on the force, and you know it.
Is that right? Personally, I don't consider getting your partner killed the mark of a great detective. But what's done is done. Constance Upton, your employment with the New Britannia Police Department is hereby terminated.
But
I should add that it's only because of your 25 years of dedicated service that I'm not pressing charges against you. But as for you, Fordham, I have enough evidence to place you under arrest for obstruction of justice and interfering with police investigations. Do you have anything to say in your defense before I take you in for questioning?
Yes, as a matter of fact, I do. I know who the Justice Killer is.
Fordham, if this is your idea of a diversion...
It's true. I found a link in the sketches of the crime scenes.
All right, let's hear it then. What do you think you found?
I'll tell you if you promise to let me take the case.
Out of the question, Fordham. This is a police matter.
And the police haven't made progress in months. Fordham figured it out in a matter of minutes. Admit it, Snelling. Fordham is your best shot at finding the killer. Are you gonna let your personal differences put the people of this city in danger?
Fine. I'll let you continue to operate as an assistant in this case.
Jerk.
If you have actually found something of value. Now, what is this link?
He leaves a single Easter lily at each crime scene. The same type of flowers the burglar and the chum was stealing.
I see. A tenuous link, but plausible. I'll give you until tomorrow afternoon. If you haven't come up with anything, I'm throwing you in jail.
Sounds fair to me.
And don't get any clever ideas about leaving town, either.
Come now, would I do something like that?
Fordham, it seems there's no telling what you might do. I'm probably a fool for not clapping you in irons right here and now. When you have something to report, come find me in my office.
Why is
Don't make me
Snelling
regret
such a
this.
shit?
Well, that went better than I expected.
Except you're still fired. I didn't have a chance to get him to change his mind.
We'll worry about that after you catch the killer. In the meantime, I could use a drink. I'll see you later, Fordham.
Don't have to go into work today.
Well, better get to work then.
Yeah.
Clock is ticking.
Is the clock ticking though? Find the Justice Killer. Save. Okay, what are our leads now?
Whew. Oh, that's not a pretty sight.
Oh, you're talking to me now, Bill?
Interesting place for a flower.
You're talking to me now, huh, Bill?
That flower adds a nice touch to an otherwise drab apartment. Too bad about the body, though.
Now Bill wants to talk to me. Now that we have a lead to potentially the killer.
Fordham, what brings you to this delightful spectacle?
Hello, Edwards. I'm investigating the Justice Killer. I believe I've got a very promising lead.
I heard an officer mention new orders from Snelling, but I thought he was just pulling my leg. Feel free to have a look around. I'm just writing up the notes from my initial examination of the body, so I'll be happy to share my findings.
Good. I'll just get started then.
Looks pretty fresh. I wonder what the killer uses to write with. Nothing but a bunch of boring documents. You'd think he could have at least been considerate enough to keep something scandalous
Where's the
in here.
flower? That's the question.
Nothing has been written in yet for next month. Curious. The former Percival McDonough, being a good politician. History books and political theory. I might die of boredom. Again. Leave it to a politician to hang a portrait of himself in his own office.
That's him.
Got a moment, Edwards?
Of course. What's on your mind?
So, what was found at the crime scene?
A dead body.
Edwards.
Hey, just trying to lighten the mood a bit. Anyway, there was also the word justice written in blood, as you can see on the floor there.
Is that all?
What more do you need? All the pieces are in place. This is the work of the Justice Killer.
What did your examination of the body turn up?
Apparent cause of death was a single gunshot to the head, exactly like all the other victims. The bullet is still lodged in his brain. I'll remove it once I transport the body back to the mortuary.
Anything else?
No personal effects of note, just a folded up piece of paper in his breast pocket. It's blank, so the police weren't interested. I assume you aren't either.
Never assume, Edwards. I'll take it if you don't mind.
Be my guest.
Blue added, a blank piece of paper.
Did the police manage to learn anything during their investigation?
Not much beyond what I've already told you. I think they were planning on speaking to the victim's wife, though.
Did you get the address?
I did, as a matter of fact. 1820 Kent Place.
Now we get to deal with the grieving widow. Hopefully the officers who delivered the news got the worst of it.
Did you find an Easter lily anywhere?
An Easter lily?
Yes. The Justice Killer leaves one at every crime scene.
Is that right? I never noticed.
Neither did anyone else, apparently.
So how does leaving a lily at the scene of the crime figure into all of this?
I'm still trying to figure that out, but I think it might be important to understanding his motive.
Well, be sure to let me know if you do figure it out. The thought process of killers is a twisted, curious thing.
What's your take on this whole Justice Killer situation?
It could be a
It's giving me a lot of
copycat.
extra work, let me tell you. We haven't had a serial murderer in a long time. Not since that fellow who was poisoning people about 10 years ago.
Ah, yes. Gascon Ghoul. Now there was a case.
Any theories or insights regarding the killer's motive or identity?
That's not really my specialty. If you want to get into that psychology stuff, you're better off talking to someone like Snelling.
Does it feel good to be out of the office?
As long as I have the chance to examine a body and learn something in the process, I don't care where I am. Though I do admit a preference to working in my own environment. Fieldwork can be a bit uncertain. There's so much more potential for contamination, especially with those clumsy officers trouncing about groping everything. Present company excluded, of course.
That's all for now, Edwards.
Do you know
Good luck
anything
with your
about
investigation.
voodoo? I haven't seen. This could be a copycat. This could actually be a copycat crime. This might not actually be.
No signs of forced entry that I can see. The murderer didn't come in through this window.
This might be a copycat. you know?
Biographies and autobiographies. Dull, dull, dull. These appear to be books on cryptography. I suppose everyone needs a hobby. These appear to be books on biography, history books and political history book. Nothing has been. Nothing is. Looks pretty fresh. I wonder what the killer uses to write with.
Well, I don't think there's anything else we can find in here. I think that's it. There's no Lily, which is curious.
What? Who are you?
I'm Miles Fordham, private investigator. Your butler just announced me.
Oh, of course. Forgive me. I was just, well, never mind. Please make yourself comfortable, Mr. Fordham.
Thank you, Mrs. McDonough. I appreciate you seeing me, Mrs. McDonough. I know you must be going through a difficult time right now.
What exactly is it you want from me, Mr. Fordham? I already spoke to the police about my husband's murder.
I just have a few questions of my own.
Oh, very well.
What can you tell me about your husband?
I'll tell you the same thing I told the police, Mr. Fordham. Percival was one of the hardest working members of Parliament. He took his job extremely seriously. The recent election caused him a terrible amount of consternation, as I'm sure it did most people. He took Atwood's loss rather hard.
Did you see much of him?
I beg your pardon?
Surely someone with such an important position in government could find themselves consumed by their work. Did he spend much time at home?
He made it a point to come home and have dinner with me every night, even if he had to return to the office afterwards.
And did that happen often?
At least 3 or 4 times in a week, yes. He'd stay in his office working late into the night. As I said, he was very dedicated to his role.
Sounds to me like she's quite dedicated to hers, too.
Did your husband have any enemies?
He was a politician, Mr. Fordham. Half the city hated him.
Did he ever receive any kind of threats against his life?
None that I was ever made aware of. I have no idea who could have killed him, let alone who could have gotten into his office to do it. He hadn't told me about any meetings or appointments this week either.
Was it his custom to inform you of his work affairs?
Oh, well, I've always taken an interest in my husband's work. He'd often mention initiatives he was working on or people he was meeting, that sort of thing. Nothing sensitive or confidential, you understand. Just conversation about his day.
Can you think of any reason why your husband would have been murdered?
Not really. He was a vocal opponent of the construction of the Gascogne-Chumley Bridge, but I hardly think that would have been sufficient reason to drive someone to murder.
Why is
Murder.
Well, it's just a bridge, isn't it? There are plenty of other ways to get to Chumley.
I meant, why was he opposed to it?
Oh, because the amount of money required to build it is exorbitant. Public funds should be used on roads and buildings that are falling apart. What's the point of having something shiny and new if everything around it is in disrepair?
Are you familiar with the art of cryptography, Mrs. McDonough?
What an odd question.
It's just I noticed several books on the subject in your husband's office.
Oh, well, yes. Percival was interested in cryptography and secret messages and the like. He would sometimes leave me coded notes when we first began courting many years ago.
What kind of notes?
What a
Oh,
nerd.
now, Mr. Fordham, those were private. But Percival got a thrill out of knowing I was the only one who could read them. Sometimes he would write them using a special ink that would only appear when the paper was heated.
There you go.
I can't remember the last time he did that, though.
There you go. We need to heat this note, and boom.
Have you heard of the Justice Killer?
That was the name the police mentioned when they told me about Percival's murder. It's absolutely terrifying to think that one sick person could be capable of such evil. Why is he called the Justice Killer? What justice was done by murdering my husband?
I'm afraid I can't answer that right now, Mrs. McDonough, but I intend to find out. How are you feeling, Mrs. McDonough?
My husband of 42 years was shot in his office. How do you think I feel?
Tactful as always, Fordham. How do you do it?
My apologies. Perhaps that wasn't the most appropriate question. Is there anything I can do to help?
You can start by finding the monster who murdered Percival.
Those are all the questions I have for now, Mrs. McDonough.
All right, Mr. Fordham.
If this actually works, I'll eat my hat.
Dearest Mary, words cannot express the regret and sorrow I feel for how I acted last night. I swore to myself I would never harm you again after the last time, but I have failed us both. It is with my deepest hope that you can forgive me and trust that I will never let this monster out again.
Well, I'll be damned.
Can we talk some more? Do you know anything about this letter?
I'm afraid I don't have my spectacles. What is it?
The coroner found it in your husband's pocket. He gave it to me because he thought it was blank. But after you told me about your husband's propensity for writing secret messages, I decided to try exposing the paper to heat. Allow me to read it to you. Dearest Mary, words cannot express the regret and sorrow I feel for how I acted last night. I swore to myself I would never harm you again after the last time, but I have failed us both. It is my deepest hope that you can forgive me and trust that I will never allow this monster out again.
I see. May I have that letter, Mr. Fordham?
I'm afraid I have to keep it for now. It's evidence.
I suppose that does make sense.
Mrs. McDonough, did Percival mistreat or abuse you?
He wasn't a bad man, Mr. Fordham. I wouldn't have married him if he was. It's just the stress of his responsibilities would sometimes oppress him. I would try and offer comfort, soothe his nerves, but there were a few instances where he lost control of his passions.
Did he ever hit you?
He did.
How many times did this happen?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe 2 or 3. You don't exactly count these things.
What a bastard. Maybe it serves him right for getting shot.
Thank you for your candor, Mrs. McDonough.
Can we please talk about something else?
Those are all the questions I have for now, Mrs. McDonough.
All right, Mr. Fordham.
Okay. What idiots! They didn't take the blank piece of paper. Jeez. What idiots. What idiots! They're so dumb!
The former No time to wait.
Alright, I don't think we can do anything in here still. Nothing we can do in here, it looks like. So, the only place we can go...
Also cookbooks.
The only place we can go is the police right now. Oh, we're in his office.
Fordham, how goes the investigation?
I'm making some headway.
Is that right? I certainly hope so for your sake.
Chief Snelling?
Yes, Fordham?
What information do you have on the Justice Killer?
Clearly not as much as you.
I see how this is gonna go.
Well, what do you have?
A list of 5 victims, some information on each of them, and no clear idea what connects them. Until your discovery of the lily at each scene, that was where we stood. While I doubt this discovery will do much to aid in tracking him down, I'm willing to give you the benefit of the doubt.
Do you know anything about Percival McDonough?
He's a member of Parliament. I believe his constituency is somewhere in central Kingsland. From the reports I've gotten, McDonough led a rather unassuming life for a politician. He is, however, the first victim who didn't live in Chumley. Either there's a link we've missed, or the killer is changing his method. Then again, since you seem so confident in your abilities to resolve this matter, I assume you'll provide an explanation.
Count on it. What do you know about the Justice Killer's previous victims?
Only what's in their files. All working men from Chumley. That's the only link.
You didn't look further into their personal lives? Maybe they had some social connection.
As I said, the detectives found nothing. You seem to think you can do better, so I'll leave it up to you.
You have to wonder how much more thorough the department's investigations would have been if the 4 men were all rich like McDonough.
So I see the department is still running like a well-oiled machine.
It is, in fact. But I'm sure Upton has kept you well informed of our activities. Incidentally, the woman accused in the Harris kidnapping is set to testify in court today.
Linda Walker's trial is today? That was fast.
Indeed. Sometimes the wheels of justice grind slowly. Sometimes they spin out of control. She'll be taking the stand within the hour. If you care to hear her for yourself, best get going soon.
You know, I solved that case for you.
Listen, about Leger's death.
I don't want to hear it, Fordham. What happened, happened. Nothing you can say is going to change my opinion on the matter.
And if I manage to find the man responsible?
The man responsible is standing before me. Even if you manage to find the culprit you let escape, it isn't going to bring Leger back from the dead.
But it will bring closure to the matter.
If that thought is what allows you to sleep at night, then so be it.
What makes him think you sleep at night?
Enjoying your new position, Snelling?
Reaping the rewards for years of hard work and dedicated service. A gratifying feeling you'll never be able to experience.
Oh, I get my gratification in other ways.
I'm sure you do, and I'd honestly rather not know about them.
I need to get back to my investigation.
Yes, time is not on your side,
What an
Fordham.
ass! This guy's such an asshat.
The rumor was always that the chief kept a bottle of something in a secret compartment in this cabinet. In Snelling's case, it's probably just water. Every book you should bump into the side when he's not looking.
I guess we go to the courthouse.
Remind me, Miles, why are we here again? Is this for your own personal satisfaction, or did you expect her to have some useful information?
Shh! Mrs. Linda Walker, you stand accused of kidnapping Charles Harris. What have you to say in your defense?
I had to see if I could speak with my son Alexander again.
Yes. According to your initial statement, you seem to believe that the Harris child is the reincarnation of your own deceased son.
All the evidence was there. I thought it had to be him.
And in regards to the execution of your plan, you secretly administered a soporific drug to your friend and the Harris family nanny, Mrs. Henrietta Davis? Is that correct?
Yes. I felt terrible about doing it, but there was no other way.
According to your journal, you used a mixture of chamomile and valerian, instructed by a Samuel, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes. Samuel is a friend of mine. He works at the docks, and he knows all about plants. I asked him what the best combination of herbs would be to put someone in a deep sleep.
So it was your idea?
Samuel!
And not his?
Yes, that's right. He only told me about the plants. He's quite the expert. Why, you should see his collection of Easter lilies.
Did she just say what I think she said?
Now then, let's turn our attention to the night in question.
Interesting. This Samuel person might be worth looking into. Although we can't waste time searching the docks with just a first name. I'd make a note of it, just in case it becomes relevant later. All right, I've had enough of this courtroom. Let's get back out there. Time's running out. No need to talk to...
Now what? Let's go to the newspaper. Angela was arrested for fraud. I see.
No time to wait.
Damn it.
The former...
We must have to talk to her or something, maybe? I don't know. I'm confused.
Hello again.
Probably best...
No, what do we do? There's no other place to go. What's our next move? Find the Justice Killer. Okay. Cool. Great. Are we supposed to find some other clue in these things, or what?
Pretty flower. But is there really anything special about it? The Justice Killer sure is. At least this poor slut.
I'm pretty convinced that the guy at Parliament was not killed by the Justice Killer. In every single thing,
You have to wonder what the meaning behind this is.
in every other thing, it was written on the wall. There was written on the floor. No Lily.
Not a very pretty way to go out. I wonder if he was trying to get something from that safe.
Yeah, I think it's a fake Justice Killer.
Bloody writing. This killer is one sick individual. That flower adds a nice touch to an otherwise drab apartment.
All of them.
Way to ruin a perfectly good wall. I bet that'll take ages to clean up.
Yeah, it's a copycat. It's a freaking copycat. It's not the real Justice Killer that did this.
Looks pretty fresh. I wonder what the killer uses to... The former Percival... No time to wait. Biography...
Not sure what to do now.
Nothing has been written in yet. Nothing has been written in yet for next month. Curious. Leave it to Apollo. Biography, history book. These appear to be nothing but a bunch of
Well. I was just there.
Hello again.
They look expensive, but just a painting of some boring old... I think I'll call this one Lord Edmund Henry Lickspittle the Elder. This one looks like a Lady Camilla Lord Alfred Edward Shufflebottom the Wise. Surely this one was called Lady Felicity Euphemia Beaversnatch the Simple.
Yes, I did.
They look expensive.
You got all of my nothing, Finkelroy. I have no nothing anymore. I hope you're happy. A pencil rubbing off the calendar? That's not bad. I don't know where there's a pencil. Or a blood one. I know, right?
There hasn't been much need for a Lady Sil...
True that.
Ah, Chief Jacobs. Now there was a leader. No need to talk.
Damn it, what am I supposed to do? Like, you have a good idea, Carrific. I just don't know how to do it. Like, I don't know how to do it. Wait.
Hello again.
No. Dang it, Nikita, why are you there?
Probably. Nothing has been written. Odd. The page for this month has been torn out. You suppose Edwards might know anything about that?
God damn it, I had to click on that stupid month. I think. I had to click on the stupid month because it's a different hotspot.
Got a moment?
Of course. What's on your mind?
Edwards, did you notice McDonough's desk calendar?
I did. This month has been torn out. I asked the officers investigating the scene, and they had no idea what happened to it.
So it wasn't found in this room?
That's right. My theory is that the killer took it.
Which means there was probably something incriminating written on it. If only there was some way of knowing what it was.
Miles, have you forgotten the oldest trick in the book? Just find a pencil and you'll have that information in no time.
Edwards, do you have a pencil I might borrow?
Of course. Take this one.
Oh,
Thank you.
okay. We're just gonna...
That's all for now, Edwards.
Good luck with your investigation.
A classic trick. Let's see if it works.
Oh, buddy!
Aha! McDonough met with this person the night of the murder. I'll bet 500 crowns it's a false name, but at least it's something.
T. Shackley. Do we keep going? No, I think we're done. Well, you were right, Carrific. Alright, I think we're done. How do I get out of here? How do I get out of here? How do I get out of here? I'm done. Uh-oh. 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 Doesn't work. Doesn't work. You know, there was one bug with this game, and this was it. This is the bug. This was the bug with the game. This was it. This was the bug. Apparently they haven't fixed it. Apparently in 4 years they haven't fixed this bug with this game. The one age... Oh, there we go.
Intriguing. We'll need to find out who this Ruby is.
That might be good enough. Okay, maybe they did fix it. I guess they did fix it. Never mind. I don't know how that wasn't good enough, but okay. Well, I'm saving it now. Yeah, maybe, but apparently it just took way too long to realize that I had rubbed that off.
No time to wait.
All right, let's talk to the his wife now.
Hello.
Can we talk?
I suppose.
Do you know anyone named Shackley?
No, I've never heard that name before. Why?
I saw your husband had a meeting scheduled with him shortly before his murder.
That can't be right. He didn't tell me about that. He always told me about his meetings.
It was written on his office calendar, clear as day.
As I said, I don't know who that person is. Why wouldn't Percival have told me about their meeting?
Why indeed?
Are you familiar with someone named Ruby?
I can't say I am. Who is it?
Just a name that's come up in my investigation.
Sounds like the name of a trollop, or perhaps a dog.
Those are all the questions I have for now, Mrs. McDonough.
All right, Mr. Fordham.
Alright. She didn't tell me anything. Man, I really thought we were soft locked there. I did.
No need to talk to him.
Alright. Find the identity of Ruby. Wait.
No time to wait. Nothing but a bunch of... These appear to be biographies, history book, history book, history book. No time to... Leave it to Apollo.
Ruby.
Nothing but...
Where would I find that at? Like, out of these 4 locations...
Mostly not a very inspiring... What a handsome couple. Judging by the uncanny resemblance, I'd say these are Upton's parents.
What are we supposed to do?
Hello again.
Boy, I can...
Probably best to leave. Surely this... Lord... Hey, look at...
Did I look behind the pictures for secret safe stuff? Did I look behind the
Leave
picture?
it to a politician. The former person...
Let's look out the window again.
No signs of forced entry that I can see. The murderer didn't come in through this window. It seems the killer didn't want anyone to know about this meeting with McDonough, and possibly not with Ruby either.
McDonough?
It seems the killer didn't want anyone to know about this meeting with McDonough, and possibly not with Ruby either.
That's a Shackley, not McDonough.
No time to wait. Nothing but a bunch of Looks pretty...
Damn, what am I supposed to do?
No need to talk...
The hell? I've got 4 locations. Oh, McDonough is the victim. Okay. That's right. I was like, what? What the hell?
There hasn't been much...
What am I supposed to do? There's like no
Some fool in a hat.
locations.
A lady... Therein lies Upton's boudoir. Mostly cookbooks. Mostly cook... Not a very... It looks pretty similar.
I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. I feel like I've done everything. What do I need to do? I've got 4 locations. And how am I gonna find out who Ruby is if no one wants to talk to me and I've searched everywhere? What the heck am I supposed to do?
Hello again.
You think it's a stupid pixel hunt? It might be. Probably in the office.
They look expensive, but I bet they're totally.
I mean, that's where we're at right now. It's got to be a pixel hunt.
No time.
I find this pattern on the floor interesting. I will say that.
Leave it to Apollo. No signs of.
Maybe it's in the office. I did.
Looks pretty fresh. I wonder what the killer uses to write with.
I wonder what the killer uses to write with. I wonder what the killer uses to write with. And hey, Benoit. Yeah, I don't see anything in here. I mean, the only places we can... I feel like I've checked. What's up with this pipe to his desk? Maybe we have to click something in the newspaper. Or not.
There hasn't. Should have listened to your mother. You should have practiced.
I don't know where to go or what to do. I am like absolutely stuck right now. I've gone to all 4 places. I've talked to everybody. I think I've looked at everything. So I don't know what to do. I hope the game didn't break. That's my hope, is the game didn't break. Where? Like these? I clicked these, yes. Like, my only guess is maybe there's something on these that I need to click, but I feel like I've looked at all of these too. So I guess we'll look at these sketches. There's probably something in these sketches we might need to find. Maybe something specific with a body or something. I've clicked the writing, I've clicked the flower on each one. I'm pretty sure I clicked the body on each one.
Must have been a powerful shot to knock him backwards like that. Bloody writing. That flower adds... Not a very pretty way to go out. I wonder if he was trying to get something from that safe. The flower certainly brings the room together. You have to wonder what the meaning behind... At least this poor slob got to die in bed. The justice killer sure is thorough, you have to give him that. Pretty flower, but is there really anything special about it? Should have listened to your mother. Interesting place for a flower. Way to ruin a perfectly good... Whew.
I think I've clicked on everything in every picture.
Should have listened to...
I don't know what to do. Alright, it's I guess it's hint time. Yeah, I read the newspaper too. I guess it's hint time. I didn't think we were gonna need a hint for this game. I really didn't. Like an exit that I didn't see, maybe. Okay, here, I found it. I found a thing. Can we do that? Wait, what? Something's weird is going on. We should have another, according to this, we should have another location on our thing. Wait. Click on each of the police reports in the casebook to read them. Yeah, apparently we need to click these. There you go! That opened up 5 new locations, 4 new locations. Okay, we never had to do that before. We've never had to do that before.
Excuse me, sir. Are you in charge here?
Unfortunately. Who are you? This area isn't open to the public.
I'm Miles Fordham, and I'm a private investigator looking into the murder of one of your workers.
A private investigator, eh? And maybe you can help me out.
I'll do what I can, but I'll need to ask you some questions, Mr.
Mims. Sanford Mims. Go ahead, but make it snappy.
Snappy?
What can you tell me about Hannibal Kirkland? A former employee here?
Listen, I've got a lot on my mind right now.
I understand, but it's important to my investigation that you tell me what you know about him.
I'm sure it is, but as you can see, I've got a lot to deal with right now.
Well, he's no help. Maybe you can figure out a way to help him help us.
What happened to your iron mill?
What's it look like? The damn thing went and got blown up.
Was it in disrepair?
Of course not. All my machinery is sound, checked and serviced regularly. This is the work of those goddamn Redites. I'm sure of it.
What makes you certain the explosion was the Redites doing?
Take a look, boy. The whole mill got taken out. Even if this had been a mechanical failure, which it wasn't, the explosion would have been contained to a single part of the machine. This couldn't have been anything other than sabotage.
Have you had problems with the Redites before?
They've sent anonymous letters, but this is the first time they've actually carried out one of their threats.
You're absolutely sure this was sabotage then?
Yes. How many times have I got to tell you that? Listen, you said you were an investigator, right? So find out who did this to my machine. If you do, I'll help you out with whatever else you wanted to ask me about.
Looks like we haven't got much of a choice. He seems pretty upset about his machine.
I'll see what I can do.
Yay.
Are you familiar with the Justice Killer?
The who?
He's a serial murderer who's killed 5 men over the past 4 months.
Is that right? Never heard of him.
He may have killed one of your men. Weren't the police here asking about it?
Oh, is that what that
They
was
were
all
called
about?
Redditors.
I know they came poking around here a while back, but I was busy dealing with other things.
It's nice
They
to
are
see the
not.
lines of communication here are wide open.
How long have you been the foreman here?
Sometimes I think it's been too long. Things were so much easier before we got these machines. They keep saying they're supposed to improve our lives, but they've been nothing but trouble. I've already had 5 of my best men get mangled by some of them. And then there's these damn fools blowing things up. My hair wasn't this gray 5 years ago, you know. I swear one of these days, I'm just going to pack it all up and retire. Let someone else deal with these damn things.
Okay. Go for it, buddy. Why don't you do it now? If you can do it now.
I'll be going now.
Be careful on your way out.
Completely ruined. Whoever sabotaged this knew what they were doing. Completely.
The employee area.
This place sure is big. I wonder if they actually make anything useful.
So I guess he's just standing there looking at it, huh?
Hey, that area is for workers only.
My apologies.
No way we'll be able to go down there right now. Completely.
Okay. Alright. I think we got a lot more of this game left. So I'm gonna probably save it and call it a day.